Welcome to Parenting with Maddy. My name is Madhu. Um, Let me start by thanking you for choosing to be here. From the fact that you're here, it means that you want to learn how to be a more effective parent. I don't like to use the words good or bad parent because those are just unnecessary labels. I always believe that parenting is all about effectiveness. Each parent has his or her own journey. No two parents raise their children in a similar fashion. Yes, there are a lot of common things that most parents will, do, but every parent's experience of parenting is very unique. So, yeah, good that you're here. And let's see what we can take away from this session. I hope you find something nice, something that you can start using going forward in your parenting approach. Personally, I've been a parent for 25 years. I have two children. I'll be very happy to share with you my journey as a parent and also the journeys of other moms and dads who I've interacted with over the years. I've been in the field of education, I'm a clinical psychologist, I've worked in HR, and all of these fields we run into moms and dads, and you get to learn so much. I've also traveled to many countries in the world, and I see parents from all parts of the world. And there's one thing that's beautiful is all of us are trying to raise these little children that have been given to us, and we're just trying to make sense of it and do the best that we can. Parenting is often a very exhausting job, a very daunting task, a very lengthy affair. You know, you can never unparent yourself from the child. So it's a very long journey of learning. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have fun. You're going to be dead. You know, I remember times when having a shampoo bath was um, a luxury because you'll always have something to do when you've got kids around you. But all in all, it's a beautiful journey. And thank you for being here. Let's explore, let's learn. At the end of this video, you could share your feedback, you could ask questions, you could put in comments, share your experiences. So, what I'm going to do today is I've made a list of some of the questions that I get asked very frequently. So, we'll look at those questions and I'll try and share um, a response which I feel might be of value to you. This is a question I get asked very frequently. What is the best thing that, as a parent, you can do for or give your child? A lot of the times we think of this answer in terms of what we can buy, the facilities, the opportunities, the experiences that we are giving them. And that's good. Two things always strike me very strongly when I want to answer this question. And this is primarily based on a discussion I had with an old friend of mine, Vara. And when I asked her this question, when I was a new mom, I always remember what she said. She said, Madhu, the two things that you want to give a child: one, a sense that he or she is lovable, and two, a sense that he or she is capable. Lovable and capable. These are the best gifts that you can give your children. Break it down. Break it down. Take the word lovable. If you look at a child's basic need, it wants to feel loved. It wants to feel safe. It wants to be comfortable. It wants to know that it is protected. And the second one, capable. We want our children to become this and that and do well, join the rat race. Okay, all of that's there. But in the end, the child is always desperately trying to do one thing, and that's feel a sense of, I can do this, I'm capable. And between lovable and capable, I think half your parenting is done. Give the child a sense that you're just beautiful and I love you, come what may. You're lovable for the fact that you're here. And this applies so much to parents who have children with special needs. You know it's going to be a lifelong journey of very challenging times. And there's going to be times when the child feels totally unloved. I'm not capable of doing anything. I'm not a lovable person. I'm such a burden. And that's where it's so important that the parent is, from a very early time, right from the time of conception, that you give the child a sense that I'm lovable and that I'm capable and I can do anything because I know I have my parents backing. My parents love me, you know, and this holds good when you have teenagers as well, or older children. When teenage is already a difficult time, and when you have a child who knows when I've gone wrong or I've done something I shouldn't have done. And the child knows that it's okay, I can come back and talk to mom and dad, rather than, oh God, I hope mom and dad don't get to know about it. You know? So lovable. Let the child always feel it's okay, I can come back home to this and this can be addressed. And so it is with ability and capability. Everyone wants to know that they're able to do something. Instill in your child that ability to do something. Instill in your child that sense that I can do, I am able, I'm capable. This question, is parenting different in different countries? This is a very funny question because the answer is yes and no. I mean, the basics are there. I think across all the 210 countries that we have in this world, the basic will be the same. I'm guessing all of us as parents, we want to ensure the child is fed, the child is clothed, the child is safe, the child is educated, the child is, eating, sleeping, pooping. Most of us spend our time ensuring that these things are done. So, in that way, I've seen parents across many countries, and they're all doing the same thing. The differences could be cultural or social pertaining to that country. For example, parents who raise their children in snow conditions have certain things that would shock some parent who's raising their child in a tropical country. For example, when I was in Sweden and it was snowing, I used to notice that even in this bitter cold, parents would put their babies in the buggies and bring them out. And when I first saw it, I was shocked. I was like, what? The child's going to freeze. But then when you peek inside the buggy, there's a very happy baby there. So that way it's different. And at the same time, if you look at how we raise our babies in the desert or in the tropics, or in mildly cool or warmer countries, we all have adapted our styles to ensure the same thing. The baby is comfortable. Food habits, you know, we're all eating different kind of food, and we're all going to give our baby the same different kind of food. So what holds good for a Scandinavian baby may not hold good for the tropical baby. But what's common is, yes, we're all feeding the baby. So yeah, parenting across countries is the same and different in each social context, I guess. This question, should parents be strict? Strict is not a bad word. Discipline is not a bad word. Most of us think if the parent is going to be strict, then there's this cane involved and there's all these curfews and there's all these do's and don'ts and rules of the house. Strict I think if we modify the meaning given to that word strict, then we might be able to make peace with it. Um, Children need structure. All parents need to come to terms with that. You can, our children are not like wildflowers that can just bloom and grow, out there in the elements and open, left to no guidance. And no, human babies, the period of childhood is very lengthy. So if we're going to have to spend so much time in this long period of 18 years by the time you want to call the child an adult, then you obviously need guidelines. So strict, yes, if strict means guidelines, if strict means structure. Raise the children within a structure. Now, the structure can be flexible. I'm not saying put up a wall, keep a fence, keep a stretchable, rubbable, a rubber fence, um, which is extendable. I mean, I can extend this for some time, right? But yes, your child definitely needs structure. Right from kinder years to primary to secondary to high school, and even as young adults, just because your child is now 18 doesn't mean that there's no more structure. In fact, 18 to 25 is when your child will benefit with a lot of guidance, because they're finishing colleges, they're getting into a work life situation, some of them are getting married, and it's different in different societies. So what we need to understand with the word strict is that if it's structure, if it's certain guidelines, if it's a path, if it's direction, then strict is okay. Yeah. But again, it's very individual. What works for my child may not work for your child, but I might share notes. You know, for example, let's take the common fight. Um, Young girl, 16's going out. She wants to come home at 12. You're fighting, no, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You're coming from a good space. But between 10 and 12, that's 2 hours. Instead of having a fight, see what can be done to make those 2 hours safe, so that the child gets the benefit of, okay, I got these 2 hours more, and you got the benefit of, in those 2 hours, I still know the child is safe. End of the day, 16, the kid might think I'm very big and I can manage, which is true to a certain extent. But for a parent, that's a nightmare. So we have to strike a balance. Should I give quality or quantity time to my children? Let me answer that question using the age of the child. When you have very young children, say 6 and below, I don't think they understand too well about quality and quantity and all of that. They just understand one thing: mom's there, mom's not there. Dad's there, dad's not there. So that's how you're going to have to work this. Little older children, yes, they start to notice. Uh, Dad was there, but um, he was concentrating on something else. So they start to understand a bit of that quality. Yes, Dad was there for 3 hours, but out of those 3 hours, he was watching TV for 2.5 hours. They start understanding. So quality and quantity, very age dependent on the children that you have. For example, now when you come to your teens, they don't want you around that much. So your quantity is going to come down. But that little time that you spend with them, and rather that they allow you to spend with them, then becomes important. So quality and quantity time will fluctuate throughout their growing years. So as a parent, you're going to have to find that, sweet spot that works for you. What's most important is when you're there with them, then you're there with them. I think that's all that they will imbibe or take to heart, that sensation that, yes, they are there for me. Older children above 18, to 25. I think that's something that they will experience even more, you know. Though I don't stay with mom and dad for all these weeks and months together, but I know mom and dad, they're just a phone call away, or mom's just a phone call away, or dad's just a call away. And that's how they will understand quality and quantity. This next question um, is very close to my heart. This happened when I was in France, and I was traveling on a bus, and there was this lady sitting next to me, and we got talking, and then told her I was a psychologist. And she said, "What advice do you have for prison moms?" And I said, "Sorry." And she said, "Yeah, I'm going to prison soon. And I have a 2-year-old daughter. What should I do? They're not going to let me see her too often." Well, at that time, uh, I was, I didn't know what to say, but then just held her hand and I said, "Whoa, this is a tough question. And to be honest, I don't think I would have any great answers to give you. But I can just share as a mom, one mom to another. Um, all you can probably do is try as much as possible to maintain that connection with the child. And even though the situation is so difficult, even though you're going to spend so less time, you're not going to do half the things that other mothers are going to get a chance to do. Um, you can just try your best to ensure that she feels connected to you. I mean, practically, yes, you have to keep her in the care of some responsible adult. It could be your mother, your sister, whoever you choose. And it's not easy. It's definitely not going to be easy. But there are ways to remain connected. There are ways to see that you maximize time spent with her. When she's small, she's not going to ask questions. And as she grows, she will. So you're going to have to, start reading up, start connecting, and seeing what could I possibly say to this child as she grows. It was a tough conversation. Um, I don't think I did very well, but I genuinely gave her those solutions, not solutions, those little bits of advice coming only from the view of a mom. I was trying to think, if I was in that situation, what would I do? I mean, I'd go out of my way to try and ensure that I got this chance with my kid and gave her the best that I could from behind the bars. Is there a difference between adopted and biological moms? No, a mom is a mom. I find it difficult that people see it as different. On paper, the only difference is child not born, from me in a hospital, and child adopted. That's about it. It's only a paper thing. It's only something legal that you have to sign and be done with. But the experience of raising a biological and an adopted child is the same. Both of them are going to drive you insane. Both of them are going to keep you up all night. Both of them are going to have to be vaccinated, fed, cleaned, washed, played with, sent to school, picked up from school. You're going to spend sleepless nights on both of them. So, no difference. Definitely no. What is the best parenting style? I don't know. I have no answer for that. All I know is if the parent is trying his or her best to raise this little thing into a good human being, an educated person, a person who can fend for himself or herself, and a person who's an asset to society and at peace with herself or himself, I think you're good to go. What role should grandparents have in the life of your children? Okay, I have an opinion on this one. One thing I strongly believe is the grandparent is not there to relive the parenting experience with you. That is over. They've done their job when they raised you. So, yes, I don't believe that the grandparents have to now step in and, redo this whole parenting thing with their grandchildren. I mean, situational. I mean, circumstances could be different. There may be children being raised in the custody of their grandparents. Then obviously the role is stronger. But generically, if you've got your mom and dad, and then you've got your grandmom and your granddad, and then you obviously have two sets if they're from two different sides. Or in today's world, there's just no more numbers. I mean, it could be multiple sets. I think the grandparents' role um, can be one of a sense of when I don't succeed with mom and dad, I know I can dial grandma and grandpa. So, yeah, a role where children can feel that we can just go to Nana Nani's place. We can just go and say hi to Tata or say hi to Aji, or Amume, Apupan. These are the languages I know how to say grandma and grandpa in. And I think their role is very beautiful in being that backup system. While mom and dad are at it, grandma and grandpa can be this lovely defense system. I got your back. It's all right. Come on over. I'll give you the extra ice cream. Here, take the dollar. I think it's more like, yeah, like a backup system. That's all I have time for. And I hope the discussion was useful. And I hope you were able to take something from the conversations today. I hope you were able to take little bits of, uh, advice that would help make your parenting a little more effective. Remember, it's a long journey. There's no one fix it all formula. There's no one recipe for success. Each generation is raised differently. The way I was raised, if I try and raise my children now in this method, it's not going to work. So parenting is a constantly evolving, a constantly with the times kind of an effort. Basically, if your effort is towards ensuring the child is safe, the child is healthy, and the child has basic comfort, gets an education, hats off. That's a huge thing that you're accomplishing. Happy parenting and come back. We have lots of discussions on parenting. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.